Hi everyone, here we go again, another video from me after a little bit of a break. Yeah, it's fun to take breaks once in a while. I was involved with creating another project and my creative juices were kind of flowing in that direction. So trying to solve that new puzzle, I was very excited to focus on it instead. I'll tell you more about it later towards the end of the video. It's in a way related to what this talk is about, but I don't want this video to be about my project, so I'll just keep going with what I intended to tell you here. So what I intended to tell you is a little bit of musing, I suppose, on what really makes us happy and content. And yes, I know what the science says. I've read all the research about how important it is to have people in your life that you trust, that have your back, that you can spend time with, playtime or problem-solving time, or how important it is to have support and all that. I get it. I've read the science. I've even done videos on happiness, so you can look through the library here on my channel and you'll probably find some of them. But perhaps because of this latest project that I got myself involved in, I started thinking a little bit outside of the usual box that I think of. And I started thinking how probably one of the biggest factors responsible for our happiness is how we optimize our lives. So that's my new phrase, optimizing life. And I've been playing with it for a few months, maybe since October, trying to think of what's it like, I came up with it kind of randomly when somebody asked me in a way of making a comment. It's like, hey, you never let the grass grow underneath your feet, and how do you find time for everything and all that stuff. And I just started thinking how yes, indeed, I'm involved with a lot of things and I'm curious about a lot of things, and sometimes it feels like there's not enough hours in the day for me to be involved in all the things I want to be involved in. And then kind of led me to think about, well, what about other people? And I tend to spend a lot of time by myself. I keep myself really good company. Part of that is because a lot of my curiosities require my time. I don't have time for other people. Part of that is because I'm an introvert kind of a person, so naturally I gravitate towards myself. Me, myself, and I, very good company for each other. So yeah, I started thinking how actually what I'm doing in my life with everything for a long time is trying to optimize life. And what I mean by that is given all the resources that I have in life and all the options to spend my resources, what would be the best use and the most satisfying use of my time. So when I think of best use, I think of not just, let's say, monetarily. So work-related things are important, but they're not the only important things. Friends are important, but they're not the most important thing either. And health is important. And my dog is really important. Since I'm practically a new dog owner, I'm still very much in love with my dog. And I just can't keep my hands off of her, my little doggy. So yes, I'm silly with my dog. I like it. Anyways, so there's all these things about life. There's this little fragments of life, and trying to put them together in such a way that the overall experience of living is amazing, right? despite the circumstances, because obviously not all circumstances are exciting or interesting, or some of them are actually pretty stressful, and there's always something, a fire somewhere you need to put down. But nevertheless, I started thinking along the lines that the happiest people are probably the ones that are optimizing their lives the most. So that kind of became a goal for me is to inspect my life and identify places where I waste resources. And I realized that time obviously is the most important resource, because everything else you can get back. You can make more money if you lose some, make some financial mistakes, you can fix it, whatever. You can lose some friends for various reasons. Maybe they move away, maybe you have a fallout, whatever. You can make new friends. You can become less interested in certain hobbies and more interested in other things. Anyways, right? How do you optimize life? So I realized that there is a direct correlation between the level of happiness and satisfaction I felt on daily basis with how optimized I felt my days and my weeks and my months to be. And so I made a little kind of a mental chart of the pieces in my life that need to be optimized. And you notice I'm not saying balancing my life, because I've over time come to realize that balance can be misunderstood to mean you allow equal time and attention to all the areas of your life, and that's just not realistic. If you have children, they require more attention than your car requires, let's say, and you might have to give up skiing. I don't know until they're old enough to go skiing with you, right? So sometimes work takes priority, and sometimes there's not enough work. If you're self-employed, you have way too much free time on your hands, right? So optimizing my days, so I became a little more diligent planner, looking a little bit more ahead into my weeks and months, and trying to plot things on my schedule in such a way that I will not be stressing out when I get there, kind of thing. And so I'm anticipating certain things and I'm working towards them. But yeah, optimizing life, that's kind of like become a mantra for me. How am I optimizing my life? So in my pieces there, one of the pieces is health and wellness. So how much time do I spend outside, and how much time I spend with my dog, and how often I go to the gym, and how often do I do my yoga practice, and how often do I go dancing, because dancing is a big piece for me. Like every time I put dancing on the back burner, I find myself kind of lackluster about a lot of things, because I'm a showy, flamboyant person. So you wouldn't know that if you met me on the street, but if you saw me on the dance floor, it will be damn obvious. So, through dancing, I was expressing a part of myself that in other spheres of my life did not find a proper expression, or just not there. And yet work, okay? I love my work. I love what I do. I love developing strategies for improving my business, for making my clients happy, for lessons I can teach, for workshops I can do, things like that. Even doing these videos, I like doing those. And I think of topics and subjects. So that takes energy and effort and creativity, right? And where am I gonna take my dog hiking? Like what would she enjoy? So there's all these little things. Who I want to hang out with and when. And I realized if I think ahead, I can schedule my friends. Sounds terrible, right? Show us have time for your friends. Well, not if you're me and you have 15 other hobbies and 17 other projects. You might not see your friends for months. So I started looking ahead and texting or calling my friends and going, hey, I want to hang out. Like, when are you available? Let's go grab lunch. Let's go have dinner. Let's go do a hike. Let's blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden I was spending more time with my friends. and it never felt stressed, and it was always welcome. So there you go. Now I got my friends on my schedule, and everything felt even better than before. So I want to ask you, what are the pieces of your life that you cherish, that you love, that you want to experience? And can you sit down and think of ways to fit them all on your schedule? And so there are certain things that will have to go, like maybe watching too much TV. Like, those of you that know me know that I don't even own a TV. I spend maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day checking through the news and getting pissed off, and that's all the time I allow myself to get updated and stay pissed off. 30 minutes a day. And as soon as I shut my computer down, politics out of my life, and I'm on to the next exciting thing in my life, not thinking about politics, okay? Or not thinking about whatever other tragic news and horrible things are happening in life. I get enough information so I stay informed and I form my own decisions, but not just watching the same shit over and over again. Or worse, like people get sucked into these TV dramas and awesome series that Netflix and Amazon and HBO, they put them all out there, and people just get sucked into these things, wasting hours and hours and hours and hours a day, a week, a month, a year, right? That's not optimizing life. That's wasting life, I think. So optimizing life, what else can I do? What else can I do? Where am I leaking time? Like certain things that time suckers. When I call someone on the phone for something, I'm efficient. I make the plan, and then the rest will have to get discussed in person. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on the phone that I could be doing something else, and then I'm seeing that person anyway, so we'll be talking about these things anyway. So I started thinking about how to be efficient, how to prioritize. And I know what's important to me, but do you know what's important to you? And I find myself these days talking to people as a life coach about what's important to them and how to address having what's important to them more in their lives, right? And how to optimize their lives. And so, it's an ongoing project, because you will come up with new things to do, with new hobbies, or you'll learn about a class you want to take, or a skill you want to learn, and now you're going to have to dedicate some time to that. And so things will have to shift a little bit. But if you think of optimizations, like what's the most optimal experience of life, what does that include? You will probably negotiate the circumstances and the things in your life in such a way that you'll get close to that full optimization. So maybe you have to quit drinking so that you're more alert. Maybe you have to quit coffee so you can sleep better at night. Maybe you have to give up certain friends that suck up a lot of time and nothing comes back in terms of care, in terms of reciprocity, in terms of exciting adventures, however you want to quantify it. Right, maybe you need to pick up things you put on the back burner and said to yourself, someday I will, and that day never came, because now you're watching whatever the next series is on Netflix, and you're wasting 2-3 hours a night instead of working on your hobby, right? You get the idea. Optimize life, my friends. If you don't optimize life, it will always feel like you're missing out. And then when you feel like you're missing out, you get angry with yourself, you get depressed. You're wishing for things when you could be doing them or experiencing them. And so I'd love to hear from you on this subject. If you feel like your life is pretty optimized, how'd you get there? What's included? What's excluded? And let's have this conversation, because I think it's a very important conversation. We can't go lopsided. Like, we either work too much, or we play too much, or we drink too much, or we watch TV too much, or we complain too much, right? And so what do? We go to the doctor, we get drugs, we take drugs. Now we feel disempowered. Now we're like, whatever. Not okay. Okay, so that's that for today. Shoot me back an email. Oh yeah, sorry. I promised to tell you about my projects. Yeah, I almost forgot. So completely unrelated to anything that I'm doing at the moment. Like, those of you that are watching my videos know me as a life coach. And those of you that go to yoga classes with me know me as a yoga teacher, which I've been for whatever, couple of decades now. And there's some yoga videos here on the channel as well. Like, that's one of my big loves is my yoga practice and my yoga teaching, my yoga students. And those that dance with me know me as a dancer. And then all of a sudden, completely unrelated, I come up with this thing about cheese. Yeah, you heard it right, cheese. I decided around Christmas time there was like a bunch of good cheese at Costco. And I was looking at it going, I never tried this cheese and I've tried that cheese, and I really don't know much about cheese. I was buy the same cheese. I buy like feta cheese. I buy Parmesan for my pasta. I'm really not creative with cheese. I have no idea what the hell cheese is about. Completely ignorant, pretty much. So I buy like 5 or 6 different kinds of cheese. I take them home. I can't even pronounce their names. I don't know anything about them. I have a little bit of cheese and I go, holy shit, where have I been all this time? This is some good cheese. These are very complex flavors. Ooh, my tongue is getting all excited, and oh boy, my belly feels really good, and oh my God, so I get all excited about cheese. And no, I'm not making cheese, if that's what you're thinking I'm doing. I did not start making cheese. I started educating myself about cheese, and I started reading about cheese and looking at resources about cheese, finding out all kinds of things about cheese, how healthy it is, and how, packed with probiotics and calcium and protein, and how it helps your depression and your brain and energy level and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? Cheese? You kidding me? Cheese? All right. So I started out this whole cute little thing. It's called Cheese Keys. It's like a little box of cheese cards, and it's like 65 bucks in a card. Oh, 65 cards in a box. 65 cards in a box, and each one has like different cheeses on there. And it tells you about each cheese and how to use it, what to pair it with, food and wine. And so it's kind of a cute little gift set and something you can use when you have parties, and you can get cheese parties if you like using that. So that's what it is. So I spent a whole bunch of time designing the box, the outside, the inside, each card, information that goes on it, doing research, because I don't drink wine. So how do I know what cheese to pair with what wine? So there you go. I had to do a bunch of research, talk to sommeliers, and yeah, that kind of thing. What is that called? Cheese Keys. It's called Cheese Keys. So I'll put a link down below. I started a little Instagram page, so if you want to keep track of where we are at the process with the blah, 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 you know what I mean, where I am in the process. Currently, it's getting the sample boxes are getting manufactured, but we hit a little snag because coronavirus is going crazy around the world. So the factory where the sample cards were produced is not working right now. So I'm feeling a little bit of a delay, but hey, that's extra time for me to eat extra cheese and learn more about cheese. I'm okay with that. I don't really care. I don't have a deadline. But that's what's happening, and soon they will be available to pre-order. So if you go on the Instagram page, the Cheese Keys, I'll put it down there in the section below the video, the description. You can keep track of when we announce the the product being ready for pre-order. And also on Facebook, I'll put that link down there. So that's my product. So here you go, optimizing life. How does that fit? Well, here I am. I have a little bit of extra time because I'm not wasting my time doing stupid things. And all of a sudden, my mind is working in some strange creative ways about cheese, and I'm taking the time to explore that venue and having a blast doing so. And that's how a whole new product was created. All because I have a little bit of extra time and I'm optimizing my life to have the extra time so that something can happen in that extra time. And this is what happened. All right, well, thanks for watching, and give me the thumbs up if you like this content. Share with your friends and enjoy your life. Bye.